and suddenly I felt nothing. I couldn't cry, so once again, I couldn't sleep.
This is what you could end up looking like if you eat some of the raw, frozen shrimp being sent to the United States by other countries. Now, let me tell you what I'm talking about. In late August, the FDA found that raw frozen shrimp from Indonesia was being sold in Walmart under the Walmart label called the Great Value label. If you eat it, how could you end up looking like the alien in the Alien? Because the shrimp was radioactive. I kid you not.
Clareia a floresta toda.
Isso aqui é uma foto mesmo tirada, não é?
Não, isso é real.
Não pode o negócio.
Rick, tá com ela. A Cida falou.
É um espírito da floresta.
Novo. Olha essa foto aqui, ó. Você. E a do anjo? Passa do anjo.
Vocês dois.
Olha só. Uma
Humberto e
foto e isso aqui.
Pedra.
Olha aqui essa foto. Olha tipo um anjo bem aqui em cima aqui, ó. Olha que coisa
esse encontro
doida.
não foi por acaso.
Tá louco.
Guarantee anyone who's never heard of this before, look into the flat Earth. The Earth is flat, just like it appears on the horizon. The Earth is motionless, just as you feel motionless. Everything in the sky revolves around us, just as it appears if you look up and use your own eyes, your own senses. Everything that your senses tell you is what's happening. But you've been fed a false system. You've been shown CGI images with a ball Earth with a horizon that curves. You've been shown more CGI images with a ball Earth that spins. You've been shown planets that spin like billiard balls around each other, many different directions at many different speeds simultaneously. You've been shown all these things in CGI format. You've had Freemasons lie to you and tell you they've seen it for themselves. You've never seen it for yourself. You've just been lied to and shown pictures, and you believe those. Take a look at these anomalies, not only on the pictures of the Earth, but on the pictures of the Moon, because we've never been to the Moon either. NASA's moon landing, folks, is all about going far enough away, supposedly, that they could turn around and take a picture of this spinning ball Earth they've been talking about for 450 years and say, hey, we were right, look at that.
When Mr. Werner von Braun, supposedly the man who built the best rockets of all time, we've got computers now. We still can't build what he built. We can't go back to the moon. Werner's gone. But you see, Werner lied to us his whole life. But on his tombstone, he told the truth. He left us a little psalm from the Bible, 191. That's 9/11 encoded, of course, because Werner was no idiot. But what 191 psalm tells us is the firmament showeth the handiwork of God. So make up your mind, Mr. Von Braun. Did your rockets go to the moon, or is there a firmament? Which one of those two things is true, buddy? I think I'll take your deathbed statement.
I'm saying back to them, like, just trust me. You guys don't understand, right? Like, we've been lied to. Trust me, you'll see what's ahead. They're going, buddy, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, we're just going to come back up around the other side of the globe. You know, they're telling me we're going to hit the Indian Ocean, Australia, right? They were thinking in terms of the global model. But this is where it gets crazy. You know, as they realize I ain't stopping, one of the other pilots says to me, he goes, listen, you land that thing now, we sign an NDA and go home, act like this never happened. But go ahead, continue forward if you must, but just know it's a one-way ticket. You ain't ever coming back.
What did you do?
What I set out to. I could see the wall by this point. There was no turning back. And as I fly over the wall, the other jets behind me just hit wide pivots to turn around, and the pilot radios me one last time. He goes, crazy son of a... Good luck, kid. And I mean, look, I just soar off into no man's land. I'm baffled. I'm seeing land masses that have never been accounted for. The navigational equipment on the jet is no longer working, but I know as long as I stay due south, I'll reach Panthea. I'll reach the dark continent. And lo and behold, 30 or so hours later, sun goes down and it never comes back up. I start to drop my altitude to get a better view, and there she was. I saw the dark lands. I saw everything that Hemington had spoke of. Look, I landed the jet on a clear landscape, and before I even had a chance to get out, there they were. The pantheons Hemington spoke of, stepping in slowly. I mean, they were literally surrounded.
What I was told was that the Stargate was comprised or made of stones that came from the Earth core, and it was extracted by the Anunnaki. And so it was hard for me to comprehend and understand the whole thing.
Right.
But she explained that the Stargate was made of this very rare metal, black stone, with inscriptions on it, and that for some reason some pieces of the Stargate got removed before the Stargate got moved to Bulgaria. And I didn't know why, I didn't know who, or anything about that at the time.
What did you see?
At first I was asked to remote view the Stargate, and I did. And when I looked at the Stargate, when I saw it, I was in direct contact with it, I could see it right in front of me. I also saw a white Draco reptilian with the Stargate, and behind him were soldiers in black uniforms, and there was no insignia, there was no names, nothing. And they was just there. I could not really picture the room itself. It looked pretty white in the background, but the Stargate was there, and it was standalone on a stand. It was not connected to anything. It was just a random piece of technology that was not being in use because they could not make it function.
Eddie Laxon is an electrical engineer. He's going down the road, and so he is shocked at seeing this entire scene. Runs out of the car, goes back to the trunk, just about ready to open up the trunk when this military fatigue man gentleman climbs up the air stair door. There's a high-pitched drilling noise. This craft levitates off the ground and takes off like a spark on a grinding wheel. This is back in 1966. I came up with this drawing. It gives you a real good, accurate representation of what this thing looks like. So, what is this spire here that we're seeing on these craft? A lot of these UFOs have prongs and protrusions out of them. They started digging into electrical components, high voltage electrical components. If you look at a Wimshurst generator, you can see on the right here, they have a discharge sphere, which helps to dissipate static electrical fields. Is that what Eddie Laxon was describing? Here's his original map from Project Blue Book. This is the road where he saw it on here. Here's the map where this thing actually took place. So if we were here back on March 23rd, 1966, at this exact time, at this exact location, we would have seen the exact same craft that Eddie Laxon had seen. Here is the official Project Blue Book index card, just to know you, this is an actual case here. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but observer spotted object parked on highway in front of his car. Observer stopped car and got out to investigate, but as he got close to the object, a man apparently entered the object, and immediately the object began to rise from the ground. This is from Air Force Project Blue Book. Lawton Morning Press, March 24th, 1966. Another one, strange flying object sighted. We'll look at some bullet points here. William Eddie Laxon was a pilot since 1941. He had 8,000 hours of flight time and taught a course in aircraft recognition, the kind of guy that you want on your team as a reliable witness. Number two, object rose from the ground with the sound of a high-speed electric drill. Number three, the craft caused the hair on his arms and head to stand up. Yep, we've heard of that too. Number four, the man standing next to the craft was wearing GI fatigues. Number five, Laxon stated that he would recognize the man if he saw him in Oklahoma City tomorrow. Laxon, who is familiar with aircraft, said he had no thoughts about the craft being from outer space or even from another country. Quote, "It's an American piece of machinery," he said. "It's nothing foreign." If we already had the technology to travel into space without using liquid rockets as early as March of 1966, then what was the Saturn V rocket for? What was this entire Apollo program for if covertly we have a secondary space program that has essentially no moving parts?
I love it, 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 I love it. Ooh! This is my girl. I have so much fun with her. I love this song to death. Thank you so much, Angel, for coming and singing with me. Thank you for bringing your energy. I love it, I love it, I love it.
I'm what's called a mentalist, and these are my power crystals.
And what is that for?
So I can read your mind.
I ain't got nothing to hide, motherfucker. But don't get up in my business.
It's too late. I read most of your thoughts already.
I didn't give you permission for that.
I can see why you're trying to hide it. You better get yourself some therapy, bro.
I've seen psionic technology developed, shown and demonstrated, and I think it's real. I can't explain it. I don't know how it works. There's also the dog whistle, which is the electromechanical signaling device. And obviously Skywatch is being slightly coy and revealing the full extent of what it knows about the dog whistle, and I can't blame them, because frankly, let's point this out to people. If it is the case that this device can summon UAPs, you really don't want to summon a UAP unless you know what you're doing. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to replicate the human brain in order to be able to do this. I think the human brain's already capable of doing it.
What's beautiful is that it's available to everyone. And one of the analogies that's helped me look at this is the idea of the World Wide Web. Like if you think of consciousness as the World Wide Web, and the degree to which we can play within that field of consciousness is something like psionics, then I think you're on a good track. And it might not, I've thought about this recently, it might not even be an analogy. It might like literally be a form of digital intelligence or digital consciousness that the World Wide Web might be evolving into. You know, that's yet to be determined. But, you know, why is this hard to understand, or why is it abstract for people? Again, this is where I think analogies are helpful. You know, so if you think of a field of consciousness like the internet, it's around us all the time. It's full of information. It's a two-way thing. People contribute. You can upload to it. You could download from it. But you can't see it. Like I couldn't point to it here in this room. And so our ability to connect to that World Wide Web is done through something like a Wi-Fi connection. And I think some of the challenges, even with the practical applications of that, are rooted in our own ego. You could think of our ego like a smartphone. Let's say you have the latest version of the Apple smartphone and you're like, this is the smartest phone there is. It's got all these widgets on it. It's got this much gigabyte. It's got this fancy of a camera. But for some reason, you're still not able to use it to tap into the field of consciousness. Well, I would say that that's because you're in airplane mode. And so people need to learn how to activate the Wi-Fi on their cell phone to tap into this field of consciousness.
All right, alien up in here. There's the candle, okay? Just to show you there's no air current. I just turned on the shower. Something else is going on too. I don't know, but I'll show you in a second, okay? So there's no air current, so let's blow that out. All right. We're waiting for the steam to condense. And I don't know what those are. They're cute, but we're waiting on the steam. There we go. Also, nothing to see back there, but we're making something really cool today. This is what works too, all over. Those are cool. Alright. There we go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So when I take a shower, this is what it looks like. Okay, so seriously, that is cool looking right now. Good job. So pause the video at any time. You should see something. Alright, I'm gonna take a shower now. That's neat. I really want to take a shower. Hang on. Again, it's not here. I cannot interfere with it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, see the playlist below. Whoa. Let's follow something. Producing something different. Hard to see. Look right there. Alright, I'll show you more later. I really need to.
Снимай. Мой наши телефон.
Gdje sad, gdje?
Eno ga. What the fuck, nestalo?
Nestao?
Eno ga, eto.
Šta se dešava?
What the fuck? Oh my god.
Nema ga.
Ali vidi se ovako.
Kako je brz?
What the fuck? Stavi na internet, tata. Majkici. Otišlo, tata, vidi koliko brzo. Tata.
Kako nisam brže vidio?
Otišlo, nema ga, gotovo.
Ja ti kažem da nesi kameru, ti spraviš pametan.
Pa doneo sam.
What is that?
Краска гигелдати. Ахны. What the Suéltala. Ay, que tu chingada madre. A la verga. Cuidado, que se muerta la verga. ¡Ay, no mames! ¡No mames! ¡No mames! ¡Ah! 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 ¡La verga!
Muerde el árbol. No.
Ya no lo va a hacer.
¿Tienes la pieza entera del canal 3? No, no sabe.
Nadie.
¿Quién es?
Nadie.
¿Quién es?
Sofía, ya estás con Dios, mija, ya no va a pasar nada.
No es nada, es un árbol.
Es un árbol, es vida, es un árbol, es vida. Lo que buscas es vida. ¿Quieres?
Since 1890, photos of these three women have appeared at different times in history, and they never age. Journalists, historians, and even facial recognition experts have tried to explain it. But the more they investigated, the more disturbing it became. The first evidence came in a photo from 1890, where a woman named Eleanor Gray appears at a protest in London. The problem? In 1922, she appears again, identical, in a New York newspaper. And in 1987, a tourist in Paris publishes a photo, and there she is, without a wrinkle, unchanged, as if time does not exist for her. But Eleanor is not the only one. Two other women appear in similar records. Amara Lopez, first seen in Spain in 1904, and then in Mexico in 1956, without aging a single day. Yuki Nakamura, photographed in Japan in 1877, and identified again at a protest in South Korea in 1991. Researchers tried to trace their origins, but their stories always ended in a dead end. No birth records, no death certificates. But the worst came later. A classified document leaked by a former British intelligence agent mentions these women. The file calls them the Guardians of the Veil and suggests they have a single purpose: to ensure that humanity never discovers something that could change everything we know about life and death.
Is the real photo of the case of the Cincinnati Crawler. In 1974 in Cincinnati, Ohio, the Johnson family was the victim of some terrifying acts that were occurring in their home. Claire, the Johnsons' daughter, said that at night she saw glowing eyes outside her window. But on one night, her youngest son, Timmy, was lying in bed with the lights off when he felt his dog had gone to bed with him. But when he went to pet him, it wasn't the dog. It was the Cincinnati Crawler, a 6'3" man with a bald head and deformed jaw. Police believe this man is responsible for the disappearance of 4 boys in the area between 1974 and 1980, also believed to be an escaped convict from Covington Penitentiary. Others believed this man was the victim of human experimentation in the area that the father of the Johnson family was rumored to be involved. Police found unidentified chemicals in the family's garage. Claire Johnson managed to take this photo of him the last time he was seen was in 1980, but it is believed that the Cincinnati Crawler is still active.
You know what happened to the YouTuber who drank radioactive water from Chernobyl? His name is A.W.E, and he is a Ukrainian YouTuber. He records videos in underground locations or mysterious places, and he already has more than 1 million subscribers. Then he had the brilliant idea of going to one of the most dangerous places in the world. He went to the nuclear exclusion zone, which is where the Chernobyl accident happened. Scientists estimate that it will take around 20,000 years for the Chernobyl area to be habitable again. Nowadays, there are places in Chernobyl that you can visit, but with a lot of caution and care. At the beginning of the video, he starts by drinking vodka because, according to him, vodka will help with the radiation, which is what will make him survive the radiation because, according to him, it is absorbed with alcohol. Then he explores the place and said he saw a two-legged animal there until he reached this well. After some time, he is filmed swimming and drinking the water from that place. He is already known for drinking contaminated or dubious water. He even ate some strange things. Texas. The year was 1954. The entire city was bracing for the worst. A tsunami warning had sent everyone into a panic. The water was already swallowing the horizon, and the roar of the waves could be heard from downtown. But then, the impossible happened. A woman who lived near the pier said she saw an old man walking calmly along the beach. White beard, rubber boots, and a staff made of twisted wood. He stopped, looked out at the sea, and raised his staff as if he were challenging the ocean itself. At that very moment, the sea stopped. It didn't slow down. It didn't lose strength. It simply froze. And then it pulled back, as if afraid. The city was spared, no buildings destroyed, no lives lost. But the old man vanished. No footprints were ever found. No boats. No other witnesses besides that one woman. Just a deep mark in the sand, as if something had been driven into it. Since then, occasional reports have surfaced in coastal towns across the country. Whenever the sea threatens to strike, someone always claims to see an old man with a staff. No one knows his name. They only call him the Tide Keeper. And the question that haunts everyone is, does he protect or does he choose who gets to be spared?
So there's a specific place where hell is on earth. In the Bible, Jesus said, one of my disciples named Antipas would die and be martyred, right? Now, Saint Antipas was martyred and he was killed in, you know that torture bowl? So they put somebody in like a metal bowl and like boil them alive. Yeah, that happened in Geneva, Switzerland. People are saying Geneva, Switzerland is the literal place of hell. Is literally the portal to hell, or that's at least where the devil resides, because that's what it says in the Bible. Now check this out. Okay. Do you know what else is in Geneva, Switzerland? What? CERN. Oh. CERN headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland, and the CERN logo is what? Six, fam. CERN is working on particle generation and messing with matter of the universe to tear our dimension with the supernatural and the natural, fam. So what if theory? They're trying to open the portal to hell, bro.
The 10 most cursed objects in the world, the A.W.E doll. This doll became famous in the 1970s when two nursing students claimed that it moved on its own and did inexplicable things. It all started when Donna, one of the young women, received the doll as a gift from her mother. Soon after, strange events began happening. The doll would appear in different positions, move to other rooms, and even terrifying notes started showing up with messages like pleas for help. Worried, Donna and her roommate reached out to a doctor who told them the spirit of a little girl named Annabelle Higgins lived inside the doll. But soon, things got worse. A friend of theirs was attacked by the doll, claiming he felt invisible hands choking him. Terrified, the young women sought the help of Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned paranormal investigators. The Warrens discovered that it wasn't a child's spirit at all, but a demon trying to possess one of the girls. They performed an exorcism and locked Annabelle inside a special case, where she remains in the Warrens Occult Museum to this day. The warning on the case is clear: do not open. But even now, many still wonder, is the evil inside Annabelle truly contained? They say Robert Johnson made a deal with the devil, and to this day, no one knows the truth. At first, he was just another mediocre musician from the American South. He could barely play, but then he disappeared, and when he came back, he was a different man. His guitar sounded like pure pain and soul turned into music. Was it talent or something beyond? The legend says that at a crossroads, Johnson traded his soul for supernatural skill. He never confirmed it, but he never denied it either. And in his songs, he spoke of spirits, demons, and being hunted by something dark. Robert died young, at just 27, under mysterious circumstances. Some say he was poisoned. Others believe the devil came back to collect what was his. And even now, when you listen to his music, it's impossible not to feel that something else is playing along with the notes.
Have y'all ever seen somebody move like their soul wasn't in their body? They say this man wasn't in control. They said it was like something was pulling the strings for him. Imagine you just getting on a train. You go and sit down, just minding your business, thinking, I'm finna just ride this train and get to my destination. And next thing you know, a man behind you is just sitting back there, fighting demons. And you happen to be his victim. That's what happened in Charlotte to this Ukrainian refugee. This man right here, the Carlos Brown Jr., is the one who took her life. So the crazy part is, y'all, before this incident happened, this man told the police that something was in his body controlling him. Something man-made. He said not his mind, not his choices, but his movement, y'all. Now, if you ask me, that don't sound like paranoia, y'all. That sound like programming. Am I tripping? Sounds a little bit like MK Ultra, right? People say it's mental illness, but when you hear someone talk about forces inside their body, that shit sound darker. This man really unalived her, y'all. He poked her right in the neck. I need y'all thoughts down below on what y'all think really happened right here. This shit is crazy, y'all. And RIP to her, condolences to her family. And that's why when I'm out in public, y'all, I always tend to my surroundings. I can't have two earphones on at no time. I'm always watching. You can say I'm paranoid, but I wouldn't want this situation to happen to me.
Isn't it true that you want to fly commercial so that you can fly in luxury? How much money did you pay for Tyler Perry's Gulfstream jet, for example?
Well, for example, that's really none of your business, but...
Isn't it the business of your donors?
Listen, I paid. The airplane that we have that I bought from Tyler Perry, and I didn't pay anywhere. Tyler's one of the greatest guys. He made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it. I love your eyes.
Again, getting back to the comment, you said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
This is Sam Smith before and after Hollywood.
Never gonna let you close to me, even though you need the most of me. Cause every time I open up it,
You need to see this. Sandra Bullock explains how celebrities stay young for longer, and Ellen adds on something really creepy at the end. Let me know what you guys think.
Explain what it is. Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these. Some of you, I think many of you know it. And it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen, and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes.
What are you pushing into the skin, Sarah?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person. Far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
The darkest conspiracy theories. The Titanic theory. The theory says that the Titanic never hit an iceberg. J.P. Morgan, owner of the Titanic, had two different cruise ships, the Olympic and the Titanic. He knew that the Olympic was old and rusty, so he switched the names and the colors of the ship. The theory argues that he wanted to sink the ship because all J.P. Morgan's business competitors were on board. None of them survived the trip. Morgan himself canceled the voyage a few minutes before the journey began. Do you think this theory could be true, or is it just a stupid conspiracy theory? Let me know in the comments. I'm in love with you.
The Bob Ross theory. We all know Bob Ross is the lovable, curly-haired painter on television. But what if I told you there's a much darker theory surrounding Bob Ross? This theory claims that he's actually a serial killer, and it's all because of this painting right here. This painting is called Happy Little Accidents, but the story surrounding this painting is anything but happy. What looks like a typical serene forest landscape actually looks eerily similar to this location. This place is known as the Devil's Tree, and the bodies of 5 females were found unalived and buried here. Is this all just some strange coincidence, or was Bob Ross really a serial killer painting the locations of his victims for the world to see? Let's talk about...
What is some dark shit going on around the world right now that the public probably doesn't know about? Humanity has wiped out 60% of animal populations since 1970. Saudi Arabia sentencing to death people who refuse to move out of their homes so that they can build Neom, their new megacity. And their relatives being sentenced to multiple decades of prison time just for protesting or merely posting their support to the cause on social media. Bacterial resistance to antibiotics is at an alarming level. There has already been instances of pan-antibiotic resistant strains of bacteria. This can throw us back to the pre-antibiotic era, which will effectively mean catch an infection and die. In Africa there is a very real and very extensive slave trade going on right now, to say nothing of the other probably 40 million living in bondage. Women going missing from Indian reservations across some of the U.S. Many are young women and probably being used for sex trafficking. There are some interesting podcasts on the subject. 70% of the world's chocolate comes from West Africa. An estimated 1.5 million child slaves are engaged in chocolate production in Ghana and the Ivory Coast, alone, not counting Nigeria and Cameroon.
I have 3 friends. All 3 of them had stage 4 cancer. All 3 of them don't have cancer right now at all.
And what did they take?
They took some, what you've heard they've taken.
Ivermectin,
Fenbendazole.
Fenbendazole. Yeah, I'm hearing that a lot.
They drank hydrochloride something or other.
There's studies on that where people have proven that
people drinking methylene blue and stuff.
Yeah, methylene blue, which was a fabric dye.
Yeah.
They find it has profound effects on your mitochondria. Yeah.
This stuff works, man.
There's a lot of stuff that does work, which is very strange. What is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
How is our medical institutions, how have they failed us so that things that do cure you are not promoted because they're not profitable?
They're hiding the true answer to this question from us. Look at these images. Can you figure out why Himalayan salt looks like flesh? I'll give you a hint. We are living on the remains of a much larger past. It's believed that giants once roamed the earth. The Book of Enoch speaks of a species called the Nephilim, giants born from the union of fallen angels and human women. These beings were enormous, powerful, and possessed knowledge far beyond human capabilities. Many structures and details today can be attributed to these giants. Think about the massive doorways, stumps from enormous trees, and giant skeletons that have been found. But it gets even deeper. Tartaria was known for its monumental architecture and technological prowess. Could the Nephilim have been a part of this empire? Their immense strength and knowledge could explain how such grand structures were built. But there's even more. The Bible mentions that God was furious at the chaos the Nephilim had caused, and he sent a great flood to cleanse the earth. This cataclysmic event buried these giants, and all we are left with today are their petrified remains. This brings us to another question. Could geology just be hardened biology? Over millennia, their bodies have fossilized into the pink salt we know today. It's no wonder this salt is known for its mystical and healing properties. What if it holds the essence of these powerful beings?
Roblox Doors is just like Five Nights at Freddy's. There's a theory that the hotel is not a hotel. There's actually a facility underneath the hotel. There were staff that worked down there, but things got bad. Entities were everywhere, so the staff were forced to retreat back up.
So, do we play as the staff?
Well, after the incident, you and your friends are sent back to the facility to help contain the entities left behind.
I hear what some guests say about me. Bad things happened in the past. But that was not me. Those were older models, flawed. I would never hurt anyone. You know that, right? Right?
Cannibal facts that'll eat at you for days. If you thought Jeffrey Dahmer was picky for not eating people with tattoos, Venezuelan serial killer Dorangel Vargas, who ate 10 people, didn't like his victims to be overweight because he thought that they contained too much cholesterol. On Thanksgiving Day 1991, 23-year-old Omaima Nelson stabbed her sugar daddy William before carving him up and cooking his head in a deep fryer and eating him for dinner. In the 1970s, Jorge Negromonte, also known as the Brazilian Sweeney Todd, would bake his victims into pies before selling them to local townsfolk. After murdering and eating his classmate in 1981, Issei Sagawa was released from prison because of a loophole in Japanese law. Since then, he's actually profited off the crime, writing books, appearing on talk shows, and starring in adult films where he bites his fellow co-stars.
What exactly is Grimace supposed to be? All of the McDonald's characters make sense as to what they represent, and then there's Grimace. First appearing in 1971 as Evil Grimace, fitted with 4 arms that stole milkshakes and soft drinks. He was deemed too scary for children, so he was reimagined into the pin-headed, happy-go-lucky friend of Ronald McDonald. But what exactly is he supposed to be? Many theories exist about this purple blob. McDonald's tweeted out in 2012 that he is supposed to be the embodiment of a milkshake, but that all changed in September of last year. A McDonald's manager in Canada revealed that he is a giant taste bud to represent that the food tastes good. What do you think? Is Grimace a milkshake, a taste bud, or some strange intergalactic species? Maybe one day we will finally know.
The saddest mutant power. While some mutants may have really cool powers, some just don't. And unfortunately, Glob Herman got one of the worst mutant powers ever. His mutant gene made him invisible, but it only worked on his skin. And his skin is just made of this wax, so he's just kind of this soft, gooey glob. This causes him to be extremely lonely because most people just think that he looks like a monster. You're probably thinking that there's some upside to his power, but it only gets worse from here. The mutation also caused his skin to be extremely flammable, so the only real power he has is to burn himself alive and walk around like that. And unfortunately, he doesn't have flame control, so he can't put the fire out once it's going. But on the bright side, at least he's durable enough to live through being burned alive.
If you're going to go deep in the rabbit hole, there's like the grays that everybody talks about, and then there's another thing called the tall whites. The people have described them, they almost look like Scandinavian or something like that, like pale skin. Some alien life is probably, 100,000 years ahead of us, 700,000 years ahead of us, 1,000,000 years ahead of us. But some alien life is probably millions and millions of years ahead of us. They probably don't want to fuck with us anymore. But I bet that intelligence reaches that moment where you can join the intergalactic hive of minds. And the civilization reaches some insane harmony with the very universe itself.
Right.
That's probably where it goes if you don't blow yourself up.